Warning! Hey, dumbass! This show is called The Offenders. So if you hear something that offends you, then we are doing our fucking job. So quit crying. Love the Offenders.
Welcome back to another episode of the Offenders Podcast. As always, I'm Kyle, and joining me from the hellhole it's making, Evan.
Oh, my name's Evan. I think we're in the top 10 of the most crime-related cities, one of the most violent cities. And
per capita.
Per capita, and sitting to my left is no longer new, but simply the third part of the Triforce, Shane.
That's me. So, we have the highest crime-related, so, everybody has, a brother who's a criminal, or...
Crime-related.
What about only child children? I mean, their parents must be criminals.
They have aunts or uncles.
Oh, I see.
Because I know that's where all my crime relation comes from. Aunts, uncles, and cousins.
That's right.
All right. So, this week, we're going to do a little bit of talking about some anime that we've watched, and talk a little bit about AWA, which is next weekend. But I wanted to go ahead. I kind of sent a message. I kind of posted this on my Facebook and Twitter earlier this week about how I hurt my back.
No one cared on there, so he's going to tell you guys.
Yeah, exactly, because you guys have already sat down to listen, so you're fucked. You got to listen at this point.
Oh, man.
But, so I do one good deed a year.
That's true.
It is. And it's getting near the end of the year, so I got to cash. I got to do it. And so earlier this month, I had a neighbor move in. Okay, she's cute. I was like, that's a cute neighbor. Okay, and I just seen her once or twice, but usually it's one of those things we pass. It's like, hey, that's all I said. So Thursday, I was coming home from class, and I see she's trying to move this dresser. Okay, by herself. I'm like, oh, that looks heavy. So I'm like, oh, let me help you with that. Sitting there thinking like, oh yeah,
yeah, dude.
So I go up, and the first problem is the dresser is way heavier than I thought it was. Second thing was, I was just going to lift with my back and not with my knees.
You so dumbass.
Yeah. That's pretty much the consensus for most people. They're like, well, everything else, that's okay, but that's stupid. Why'd you do that, moron? So I bend over, and I just, and it's just like, whoop, there it goes. And I'm like, oh, keep going. We get it up. Get it in there. And,
whoa, are you moving her dresser, or what's going on?
Just keep going, don't stop. It's too late. But so, get it up in there and in the apartment, and it's like, talk for a few minutes, and I walk out, and I already know my back. I hurt myself, but I didn't think it was that bad until the next day when I wake up and I can barely move. And I'm sitting there thinking, well, I got some brownie points at this point, I helped a lady move something to her apartment, and as far as I knew, I thought she was single. Then I turn out, I see her girlfriend. So she's lesbian. So I had no hope, anyways, of ever getting any of that.
Oh, man.
So there's one thing I learned from this. It's that fuck doing good things for people.
But, dude, theoretically, it might be her girlfriend. But they may go fishing on the weekends. And perhaps your good deed has earned you a spot on the boat. Or at least you can watch them go fishing.
I don't like fishing.
You're an idiot, Kyle. That's called a metaphor, okay? Maybe they will invite your dick to their party. Okay? Does that make sense?
Can the rest of me come too?
No.
We totally didn't plan that, but it sounded like
yes.
They'll be like, hey, napkin head, you want to do something?
Yeah, right? Old napkin head. So, let me ask. I got to know. Was she did she just have short hair, or was it completely unbelievable that she's a lesbian? Did she just look... Well, it's not like all lesbians, have short hair, but I mean...
Lesbians everywhere are scrambling to get to the barber. Shit, nobody will know I'm gay.
Yeah, right. She's the fucking gayest... As soon as I see a lesbian, they always have gay hair, so I'm always wondering.
As soon as you see them, so it's your fault.
Yeah, it's my fault that they had hair and then it fell off till I showed up. So every time I see a girl with short hair, I'm just like, man, I can't talk to her because she's gay. Shit.
No, I mean she does now. You say that she does have it, but I didn't think
I knew it.
that.
I fucking knew it. It's that and a baseball hat. Those always give them away.
Now I'm thinking of the
'Cause
women
they're
I
playing
know
for
with
the
short
other
hair and
team.
wear baseball caps.
Dude,
I know a lot of lesbians.
see, I'm telling you, dude.
I wonder if they know.
They'll find out.
But yeah, I just I wanted to go ahead and say something like that because with AWA coming up, I'm sitting here, I'm like trying to like channel my chi into my back to fix my shit because I'm like, I know I'm be standing for 4 days straight, and there's no goddamn way I want to do that with my back the way it's been. So it's doing a lot better than laid up in the bed watching a bunch of anime.
Sweet.
Yeah.
You can
None
do
of the
it,
stuff
man.
we're going to talk about today because I already watched it, but a bunch of other anime.
I mean, worst case scenario, you can buy some old people gout shoes that'll help. You know, like some.
You know
some
what? This is
orthopedic shoes.
AWA, so I have a better plan.
What's that?
We'll get him like an all-white shirt and a little tie and everything, and we'll dress him as Shinji. And when he's like, "Oh, my back," we'll be like, "Quit bitching, you little whiny son of a bitch! Fucking get in the robot."
Exactly.
I thought you just get me like a wheelchair and wheelchair me around because there's always like at least one or two characters in wheelchairs in almost every like high school anime. So
When you start feeling hesitant about like walking around because your back hurts, just remember, I mustn't be afraid. I mustn't be afraid. I mustn't be afraid.
It's like, I mustn't want to write, and he can't because he fucking crippled himself.
Yeah, right. Did it hurt so bad that you made stupid noises that you can't control when you try to get up? Like,
yeah, no, literally, it hurt so bad. Friday, I was walking between classes. I had to stop and grab my back like an old man and just go.
oh, that's so fucking funny.
You can
And
be
when
the,
and of course, I'm like, after class, I should have come home, but I was like, well, I could go out and get free drinks and food tonight, and so I did.
Let me just put a little of Grandpa's old cough medicine on this pain.
Uncle Jemima's mashed liquor.
There you go.
And so, yeah, and then, like, when I'm getting out at this bar, I'm climbing out of the car. It's one of those things you see an old person, they have to turn in the seat and step out, and then they pull themselves out, and you just tell that they're struggling. That's how I was.
Go to bed, old man.
Pretty much.
Oh, man. It'll be better. Just keep doing stretches. You'll be all right, man.
That actually has helped a lot.
Yeah. Because I'm pretty much in pain all the time between fucking doing these crazy-ass sprints and going to the gym. Something's always hurting, so I'm like, well, maybe I'll listen to people and stop being a dumbass and try these stretches. And they work amazingly. I should have listened to them the whole time.
Fair enough. All right, so I guess we start talking about some of the anime that we've watched, the ones that we recommended to each other.
Yes, exactly.
So why don't you start it off, Evan? Which one did you recommend to us?
You can just look it up under Kabuto. It's got a long Japanese name, but you can just look it up under Kabuto. Do you want me to tell about it, or what I think of it, or what?
Yeah, go ahead and give a synopsis of it, and then we'll talk about what we think about it.
Okay. It's kind of a post-apocalyptic Japan, or a steampunk Japan, if you will. It's kind of like everything is barren, but it still looks like feudal Japan, and there's some shit going around. People are pushing the weaker people around, you know, because obviously somebody's running the stuff, but nobody really knows who. Well, all around the land, these people have become liberated by this mysterious guy. And it just comes into the thing is, like we talked about previously, you're just kind of thrown into the middle of it because it was an attempt to make a movie out of an entire series.
Yeah.
But regardless, the character is so badass and his powers are so amazing that it's okay. You extend the disbelief of like, okay, this is just how it is automatically. But he's like a ninja. They bridge in Japanese folklore from the Tengu, and basically he just goes up against this super hot emperor woman. And there's lots of ninja magic and fighting. So if you like ninja magic, fighting, boobs, it's right up your alley.
So why did you like it, Evan? Other than boobs?
Ninja magic.
Okay.
No, I mean, for me, you know, since I've done ninjutsu for a while and it's like a big part of my life, I've always studied it in depth. And one of the coolest things is they take the kuji-in, which is 9 hand symbols that are used for a number of different reasons. But in this one, it's supposed to be for legitimate magic, like sorcery. And it's one of the most badass ninja magic scenes in all of history. So you just see this guy going through the mudra, the hand motions, while saying the the words, the mantra, and just all kinds of shit's happening, and it's one of my favorite, because I remember renting it from this place called Video Warehouse when I was a kid, and it had such an extreme effect on me. It's just like, oh man, these fights are great, the characters are cool, her boobs are huge, this is a great series. And then I got into it and started liking the other stuff the guy wrote. His name's Bunshichi Terasawa, and he writes a lot of good stuff.
So let me tell you, this is I didn't dislike it, but I didn't care for it, if that makes sense. Like, it's not one of those things like, God, worst thing ever, I want to kill myself now, but it was one of those things like, I probably would never watch it again.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons is that those ninja magic scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is like, go ahead, all right, I want you to pretend that you are him,
mm-hmm.
and go ahead and start doing that scene, just like how he does the ninja magic stuff, okay?
Okay.
I hit you in your face. I hit you in your face right after the first one. Before you could even get to the other 8 that she has to chant out. That's my problem with it. He's sitting there chanting, and like these symbols are going into the air, and it's going so slow, and I'm like, and people are running at him. I'm like, how far away are these guys who are running at him? that it took him, he had enough time to do all this chanting and get all these symbols cast in the air before they even got to him.
You're not taking into consideration the fact that they're running, then they're stopping and going, holy shit, there's something floating in the air. And then once they recover, they start running again.
And now it's time for the narrator. The person previously speaking about this is a great fan of Dragon Ball Z, where an entire episode will go by with them standing there screaming and no one stops them.
10 points to Shane.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, but Goku's in that one. It's
okay because Goku did it.
I like that one.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the difference. I mean, it wasn't. The problem with it is, like you said, that you're thrown right into it, and there's really no explanation. They try to explain stuff, but it's done so quickly that it's almost, they should not have even done explanations. They should have just had straight fighting. It would have been more interesting. Mm-hmm. But when I looked into it, I saw, we're saying like there's a series that it's based on, and a manga it's based on that's really long. But they tried to put I think it was like a 13 or 26 episode series into basically like an hour and a half movie, and that never really works out too well.
It's like a giant trailer. That's the way I look at it. It's like, you watch this, it's like, man, this is badass. I want to actually watch the rest of the series. And hopefully you can. I haven't been able to find a fan sub of it all the way through yet, but I have all the manga that they've released overseas. So
yeah.
I actually didn't watch it again, but because I could remember all of the awesome scenes from it.
Yeah.
And I actually had a kind of a fear that it might be like Thundercats.
Oh, no.
So, I'm like, I don't want to watch it again. I remember it being awesome. So I'm just going to go with that. In fact, I watched it the same time you watched it. When you rented it, that's when I saw it.
Way back in the day. We were like, man, I was like 15
I remember I loved it
ago.
then, yeah. I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So he has running fire, does he? See how good my memory is for the few things that I remember?
There you go.
I do remember at one point, he was one of these people, he seemed to have powers at need, so it'd be like, shit, I need to fly. Tengu wings, just takes off flying. I was like, hell yeah, that's awesome.
Hell yeah, dude.
But, and then the stuff with the Empress and the guy that was working with her was pretty neat, because I didn't see some of that coming at the end.
The little hunchback guy, yeah.
Yeah. But it's one of those things, I think maybe if I'd watched it when I was a kid, it probably would have been really awesome too.
Dude, no joke. I was about 15 years old when I saw that. Those fucking crawling masks scared the shit out of me because they look like giant spiders.
Yeah, now I could agree with that because so at one point there's these masks and they look like kind of like those porcelain no masks, but they don't have paint on them, so it's just like little. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but they're like porcelain faces, and they crawl around. Those are fucked up looking. Like, don't they crawl like up into her cooch at some point or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like a face hugger, but that would be a cooch hugger, I guess.
Yeah. We call those penises.
Yes.
Did they have on baseball hats? What I want to know.
I don't remember. I don't think so.
You don't remember? I think you would remember.
I think you're going to have to go back and watch it again to answer that question.
Oh, I see.
So what else do we got?
I was saying, but Shane, you enjoyed it though, from what you remembered of it?
Yes. I'm pretty sure I'd like it if I watched it again, but
yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know. It was one of those ones it wasn't. There's an anime you've watched. And God, I regret watching that. It was just so terrible. But it wasn't one of those. It's one of those ones like, oh, okay. So what was it that you had us watch, Shane?
Summer Wars. The reason I watched this movie, by the way, was like I was going through and like, what anime movie do I want to watch? Because I haven't watched one in a while. I'm just going and like the comments on the site where it was like, this is the greatest anime movie that I've ever seen. And I'm like, oh, I accept your challenge.
Yeah,
That's
right.
the only reason that I watched. I didn't know anything about it. So it starts off and at first I'm like, this is kind of boring. Then it keeps going. And the fact there's like 4 different things that are going on at the same time that are all related, even though they shouldn't have anything to do with each other, was just awesome. Mm-hmm. And like the epic way they do things that aren't all that epic, it's just great. I loved it.
Why don't you give us a little bit of the summary of the plot of it? So like, not necessarily everything, but like kind of what's it about for people.
All right. So what the thing is, it's like there's there's this guy. And there's this girl comes in and wants them to go along with her to her family's house. And he goes along and he meets the different family members like that. And the grandmother from that family is the most awesome grandmother I've ever seen in any anime ever. Just to say,
Pretty badass.
But like he was like the second place. He came second place, I believe, in some kind of math contest or something like that. So he's really good at math. And he gets sent this like. This little math quiz thing over the internet. And this whole world, everything is like done through the internet. So like there's this whole world where you can do business transactions over the internet and everything like that. It's the most secure system ever. So all the businesses, everything that happens in the world is basically done through like this online world. And he gets sent this math quiz and like he sends it in, and then after that, like the whole like freaking world like just goes nuts because like it crashes the internet world and everything just gets scrambled. And it's basically about them like trying to deal with it and him like worrying about being arrested because like, you know, he's like an international criminal because of the whole world is like gone nuts and over it. It's pretty great, but it's got things stacked on top of other things in there. Yeah,
it's one of those ones like when you think it's maybe it's near the end. Some complication occurs, and it's like, oh shit, now it's taken to the next level. What's going to happen next? And it happens a couple times like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I really like that one. I thought that was really good. Summer Wars, I like anime where I don't mind, like, there's some of my watch that literally there might be no action, but it's just like this overall story. And if the story's really good, it's cool. And if there's a lot of good action, maybe the story's not too great, I'm good with that too. But this was like a nice mix of both. And, like, the story was really well told, and the animation was pretty awesome, too. Because they had, like, this kind of... Like, when they were in the virtual world, they used this CGI. So it wasn't... You know, like, sometimes... I hate when anime does this. They'll do, like, this weird CGI animation mix at the same time, and it looks kind of funky. Mm-hmm. But this one didn't do that. It was like, when they were in the real world, they used normal animation. But then when they were in, like, the virtual world, they used the CGI. And it looked really good. So,
yeah, it was beautiful, the artwork.
So what'd you think of it, Evan?
All the parts of it were good. I actually enjoyed the social commentary of the film more than anything else. You know, because, you know, it's about family. It's about community. It's about, you know, we might do this different than you do this, but we're all still trying to get to the same place. And, you know, they try to really bring that together right at the end. You know, not to give too much of it away, but there's a whole lot of parts where it's just like, I can't do this by myself. What am I going to do? Well, I have to rely on this person. If they don't help, I'm fucked. And, you know, you kind of see the importance of coming together as a whole, you know, unity. Mm-hmm. And to me, that was very touching. I really, really enjoyed it. It was very heartfelt. It was very... very good film. The characters were cool. You know, I like the dynamics for a couple of the characters. I won't really go into those too much, but the fighter guy was awesome.
King Kazama.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just the dynamic between his character and then him in real life was just completely amazing. You know, I love it when they do stuff like that. And, you know, altogether, the grandmother was super badass.
She was.
Super badass. I really liked the... King Kazuma's, is it his grandfather or his uncle? The guy who kept going, we're the samurai family.
Oh, yeah. That was awesome.
he just would just go back into all these old war stories about how the samurai outsmarted these idiot soldiers, and just he was super badass, and he was always ready to get into a fist fight. He was super cool. I liked him a lot.
Yeah, like that. For the most part, you know, sometimes you'll watch something, and not just anime, but TV or movies, and like there's a lot of characters, but most of them are totally forgettable. You're like, I don't, you know. To me, the best example of that's the first season of Walking Dead. I asked people afterwards, I'm like, can you name the names of the characters other than the 3 main people? And everybody sit there and be like, no, I can't. I'm like, yeah, because they never said it. They had no fucking names in the first season. That's how forgettable they were. I was like, you know, and that happens in a lot of stuff, though.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like in Summer Wars, even like the smallest role character, I would, you know, I liked them for some reason or another.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of the cousins and nephews of the family were like just EMT people and firefighters, but they each served some kind of role within what was going on. And it was all pretty awesome the way they tied them all together, and this giant family comes together at this time to do this stuff to basically save the world.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I mean, like you said, it's not just family, but it also talks about friends and like community too in general.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But and then like in social commentary, not just like on that type of stuff too, but like on the digital world and how people handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I felt some of that was like you're talking about the difference between people in the virtual world and the real world.
Yep.
And that's talking about how stuff is handled now. You know, you have these people who in the real world, they just have a regular job and they're nothing special, but in one of these games or something like World of Warcraft or something, they are just some amazing person that people are, holy shit, this guy, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought it was pretty good. It's not old. It's like fairly recent, within like the last 2 or 3 years, I think it came out. So,
Yep.
And how about the one that you picked out for us?
So I picked out Nausicaa of the Valley of Wind, which is from Hayao Miyazaki, like anime legend of Studio Ghibli. So Nausicaa of the Valley of Wind was the first movie that Hayao Miyazaki did that was like his own property. I think everything else up until then had been something like Lupin or some other thing.
Yeah.
But the premise of it is that there's this world, and at some point there was this massive war, and it damaged the world, and there's this jungle that's poisonous that people don't really go into because it's so dangerous, but there's these giant bugs and terrible monsters that live in there, and you have to be careful because they'll fucking eat your face off. But it follows a princess of this small little valley wind nation thing called Nausicaa, and how she basically kind of, and how there's these 2 other kingdoms that are basically fighting over this ancient weapon that they're trying to use so they can fight each other and kill each other again. That was part of the reason this shit's all fucked up to begin with.
Yep.
And it's kind of her as this person on the outside, just like, why are you just trying to kill? We can't just kill everything, and that's what we got while we're at. And, you know, we need to stop this and stuff like that. So that's one of my favorite movies. But I love all the Studio Ghibli stuff like that. So, but I know when I mentioned it to you two, I don't think either one of you had seen too many of those movies or anything from them. Maybe 1 or 2 things.
Yeah, I'd seen Spirited Away and Mononoke Hime. Those are the only 2 I'd seen.
Nothing.
So Shane had seen nothing, but like
Nothing.
one of the things I like about all those movies is that there are people who are maybe bad, but they're not like, holy shit, this guy's fucking evil. They're usually bad, and then you see why they're bad, and you're like, okay, that's reasonable. I can understand why you're the way you are. You're fucked up because something happened to you. But even then, in the end, most of them are somewhat redeemable. Like, they change their mind, or something happens, and they're just like, well, maybe this isn't the best course of action.
Yeah, like
and
the Queen in the Golden Armor, whatever her name was, she was like that. And the kid from the other side that was flying that thing that kept attacking them, he ends up redeeming himself at the end.
Yeah, that's a reoccurring thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that mostly because, like, eventually they learned.
Yeah, exactly.
That's unlike people in real life who never learn.
Some people,
that's true.
Yeah, that is a common thing within those movies too, is that people realize that if somebody says something, at first they might not believe it, but then they're like, oh shit, no, they're right. We should believe them now. Like Princess Mononoke is an example of that. So like in that one, what is it? They're saying don't cut off the forest spirit's head. Bad things will happen. The guy's like, no, they won't. And they do. Yeah. Bad things happen. They're like, oh shit, give him back his head. Give him back his head right now. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I think like when Nausicaa came out, it's a big talk. It's kind of one of those things like it's at the time the social commentary was on preserving the environment.
Yeah. And
so that's why it's saying like, hey, we're the reason it's fucked up like this, and we should stop because it's not going to get any better as long as we keep doing what we're doing. Exactly. You know, we have to realize the problems.
That's what I loved about it. That was my favorite part of the entire movie because it's like he doesn't just show it in a way where it's just like we're going to kill ourselves by destroying this planet. It's like, no, we're going to piss this planet off and it's going to kill us.
Yeah, it's the planet that's basically trying to fix it. And they're going to kill the problem with your people.
And that's the thing, you know, it's like you just keep polluting and you keep destroying all this other shit and it's just like you're becoming nothing more than a parasite. And it was, to me, that was a cool little metaphor that they had like parasitic looking bugs in the thing. So it was like another level on top of what he was already saying. And it's so cool, you know, it's hard not to give out spoilers, but you know, you really see that even the things that are supposed to be these gigantic monsters aren't evil. They're just put into a situation, you know, and it's like, yeah, they look fucking creepy as shit, but they're just like the rest of us, you know?
It was a good point because it's like, yeah, there's these monsters that'll totally like destroy everything if you go and fuck with them, but they're way over there in a place that you're not supposed to go anyway.
Yeah.
And the greatest thing about that is everybody's brilliant plan of what to do to wipe out this area where these bugs are, or is exactly the opposite of what they need to do. And even if they succeeded, they'd all die.
Even the old woman said some dumb shit about that, I think, and she was supposed to be the crone, right?
No, she said to leave it alone.
She did?
She said, don't go there, don't mess with the insects. If you do, they're gonna swarm out and they're just gonna kill everything. They can't be stopped.
Did they listen to her?
No, well, the people in the valley listened to her.
Yeah, the people in the valley, for the most part, were like, no, don't fuck with them. Yeah. It's all the people from the other place that don't live near there. It's like, no, we don't live near here. Fuck with them.
And you know what? She was right. So you know what I say? Thanks, Obaba.
Yeah, because that was the old woman's name. Thanks, Obaba.
I had to figure out how to set that joke up.
I was thinking too. I was really trying to figure a good way to say it. But yeah, like all of the movies from Miyazaki are like that. Some of them might not have as big of a social commentary per se. Like I don't think Spirited Away is a social commentary as much as it is like it's more a story about a young girl finding herself and like coming to terms with change. And I think Howl's Moving Castle is kind of similar. But I think stuff like Mononoke and Nausicaa are more along those lines. It's more of like, hey, this is a thing. We're talking about the environment, and people are fucking it up, and we should really pay attention. Like his last movie he just did, I think it's called The Wind Has Wings or something. It's actually a true story about the guy who created the planes that the Japanese use as the kamikaze fighter planes.
Oh.
And how he regretted it for like the rest of his life. But it's a story about how like he creates those and about the love he had for this female artist and stuff. And it's basically a movie about anti-war.
Good.
Because, I don't know, like a lot of people don't know about this, but Japan's been discussing trying to approve creating a military again. And there are a lot of people that are really against it. And Miyazaki is like one of the most outspoken people. He's like, no, we don't need that because nothing good ever came from us having a military. And we've been fine without one. We've actually done better without one.
That's true. Economically, they are super strong.
Sometimes.
I mean, in comparison to us, I mean, over there, if you take into consideration, you know, the difference between prices and stuff, they're making like $12, $13 an hour in a McDonald's.
Well, yeah, but there's other things with their economy too. Like, if we want to, do we want to get technical? We want to roll this back and get a little technical with some stuff?
I don't know. We're almost we're getting close to time, but
okay.
Perhaps
their economy's strong, but it's not as strong as it looks because of other problems like the lack of like they have a smaller population of working force people, but a growing number of elderly, so it's weakening their economy because the people who are there paying taxes don't necessarily have enough taxes they're paying to take care of the elderly, and as the more elderly show up, there's going to be less money, so they're going to have a huge problem in years to come.
Also, on your point, too, the hikikomori, because there's a lot of people who don't even try to get jobs these days.
And there's a lot of people that aren't even trying to have children, so they're not creating more people to have jobs.
Stuck there, yeah.
So, yeah. It's a long-term problem that they have not figured out a solution for, which will really be bad if they don't.
As long as they keep making anime and badass movies, they'll be fine.
I think my solution is just come like me. I mean, I'll be happy to create children for them.
Yeah, right? Can we get the government approval to go over there and help out with that?
What was it you were telling me about the idols over there? About how they're old maids at like 20?
Yes.
Yeah.
Once they're at like 20, it's like...
They become honorary members of their own bands and shit.
Right. Well, they're still part of it and stuff like that, but they always make the jokes about them being old women at 23.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I still never forget the term that they use for women that are of marrying age or a year over it. It's like Christmas cakes. Because nobody's going to eat. No one's going to eat one after Christmas. Fuck it.
Exactly.
That's so fucked up, man. It's so terrible. It's poor women. Poor women.
Shit.
Shit, those bitches ain't shit.
Man, shit.
Alright, so, if you had to rate... We'll start with the first one, Kabuto. So, Kabuto, 1 to 10, what would you say? Evan.
I'd say a 10, definitely.
Shane.
I'm going to have to go with 7 from my memory.
Okay, I'd go with 5. Dogging it out. All right. So that gives us a total of 22 for Kabuto. All right, so then Summer Wars. Evan, what would you say?
10.
I'd give it 9. It has to be super awesome for me to give it a 10.
I'd say 9 too. So that's a 28 for Summer Wars. All right, and then Nausicaa. Evan.
10.
Okay.
All 10s from Evan. I'd give that one a 9 too because it was actually pretty fantastic when I didn't know how it was going to be. So
okay, I'll give it a 10. So 29 on that. So we got 28 and 29 for Summer Wars and Nausicaa, and fuck Kabuto is a piece of shit. You shouldn't watch it.
See, you guys just need to lay off the social commentary. You know, you're always looking for stuff like plots and, you know, character development. You need to say, okay, I just need to find some boobs and some fucking explosions and magical sigils and enjoy life.
Okay, if I want to watch something that has no social commentary, just has like retarded action, and it's just like blowing shit up and stuff like that, I'll watch a shonen anime like Dragon Ball, Naruto, or Bleach, because that's what there is. There is no social commentary. Everything's, you know, decided through friendship or idiots. And there's just ridiculous action constantly.
That's exactly what you just said. Kabuto is a shonen anime.
But it's not good. That's the difference.
That's a subjective opinion, ladies and gentlemen. How can we judge art? We cannot judge art.
I was gonna say, Evan, if you want one that's got a lot of boobies in it, you should watch a woman named Fujiko.
Yeah, I hear that's pretty good.
It is. It's a loop in the third one, but it follows Fujiko Mine throughout, like, before they're all, like, actual part of the team. So it's like how she first meets all of them, and then how they're all kind of first introduced to each other, and it's kind of like her origin. Mm-hmm. But she gets naked in every episode. And
thank you, gods above.
If she doesn't get naked in the episode, she's naked in the intro of the episode, always. So every intro, it's like her nude.
Yes.
But she has sex with tons of people. And that's basically like one of the things at one point, like, they're talking about, like, she's like, you know the difference in me and you? She's like, I don't have a problem with casual sex. And somebody's like, yeah, that's probably right. You're probably right on that.
That is a great euphemism, casual sex. Hey, let's just be easy about it. It's casual.
Fuck that. I show up to have sex in a fucking tuxedo, and a goddamn top hat, and I'm like, excuse me, my lady, are you ready for our,
How would your vagina like a proper flogging?
Are you ready for a roll in the hay, I might ask?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
I mean, that just seems like that'd be a lot of work, because you come with all that on, and it's just going to be a pain in the ass to take it all off.
Well, if you come with all that on, you got to clean it, take it to the dry cleaner and everything. It's really terrible.
You're making me proud with these puns. I'm proud.
Touche.
Yes.
Yeah.
Double combo.
I was actually going to say you should just have one of those ones that's got buttons all on the side, so you just rip it off. It's just really easy to take it off.
Yeah, you could get like the Jackass Party Boy pants. You just rip them off. They're like fucking jogging pants, but they have buttons down the sides.
Oh man, that'd be great.
Yep.
Oh.
All right, so
Anime Week in Atlanta. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, for real. So Evan, there's rumors that you're on a panel.
Yes, I am. I guess they ran out of people with real shit to talk about because, thank the gods above, I'm actually going to be giving a little panel talk on how to travel by yourself in Japan without having to spend a whole lot of extra money on quote-unquote tour guides.
Okay.
Because it's not all that difficult, and it's going to be on Friday at 7 p.m. You can check the website. It's on there under Anything Goes, solo-style travel, Japan.
It's not just you, though, is it? There's somebody else with you, right?
Rick's there, but he doesn't like talking, so he's just going to work the computer.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's like probably one of the smartest guys in the world, but if you put him in front of a room, he'd just be like, yes.
I know a lot of people like that. In fact, most of my professors are like that. When they're teaching, they don't look at people. They just stare at the back wall to the point where I'm like, God, what's on the fucking back wall that's so interesting, you know?
Yeah, he's one of the guys that helped me actually learn Japanese, especially here at Agana and Katakana, because he like actually sat down and helped me study with it, me and my buddy Britt, the guy that I've been over on a lot of the trips with, and so he's amazing. I mean, he reads raw Japanese manga. He can read kanji and everything, so but see, the thing is, the reason he wanted me to do it is because he always goes over there with tour guides. So he's like, look, you've done this 4 times by yourself. You got a lot to share. Why don't you do it? And I was like, okay.
See, that's why when I go or want to go in February or March with you next year, is I want to go with you because you've been. And I don't speak any Japanese. Which, is that going to be a problem?
No, as long as I'm there. I mean, even if I'm not there, one of the things I'm going to hit on in the panel is most of the shit is in English anyway. All the signs are in English. Most of the people, at least in Tokyo, are going to speak enough English so that you're not going to be completely fucked. But you get too far outside of Tokyo, or if you're not in a place where there's a lot of signs, you're probably going to be in trouble. But for the most part, you'll be fine. Even if you don't speak any Japanese, just grab a phrase book and you'll be fine.
Fair enough. All right, so that's on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, there's our normal panel we try to go to, Manime.
Yes, Kent and Sean, 2 of my good buddies, they put on a definitive textbook panel on how to understand the things that make you a man and things that kick ass. All having to do with manliness, including serious eyebrows, shouldering great tragedies, and bloodlust. And if you like things like that and beef jerky, come check it out. We're all going to have a good time. I've got my man card from last year still on my wall here.
Yep,
I'm
me
looking at
too.
it right now. It's great. They recommend a lot of great anime, and it's, if you ever just like, because I mean, myself as a man, oftentimes I watch shit the women watch, and I'm like, why the fuck do they watch that? So if you're a woman and you wonder that about us, come and hang out, and you will see why we watch the things that we do and understand our principles.
The best part about last year's Anime panel was at the very end when, like, it was me, you, and Jacob, and John, and I think Wesley were passing out the man cards.
Yeah.
My favorite thing was to hand it to a woman and say, congratulations, you're now a man. And they look at me like, thank you. Like they don't know what to say.
Nice.
But yeah, that's easily, out of all the conventions I've been to, that's easily one of the best panels to go to consecutively. Even like to the point where I've seen it before, it's still good. Like they'll change things, but it doesn't like get dramatically different. But it's different enough that like it's still good to go every year.
Yeah, absolutely. They're also doing an MMA panel this year too about like animes like Grappler Baki and Tough, a couple of other ones like that. They're just gonna kind of point that out. There's a shit ton of good panels this year. Have you looked at the schedule yet?
I have not looked at it at all. I like to kind of go into it blind. So like Thursday, because I'll drive up after class, I'll probably go up earlier than you guys and go get that and then chill in the hotel. I'll probably look over it then.
Well, plug your ears real quick because I have to talk about some of them.
Okay.
Number one, first and foremost, there's the 20th anniversary Oh My Goddess panel. I'm probably going to be the only old, long-haired savage in there, but I don't give a shit because that's one of the best anime series ever made.
I've never seen it.
Ho ho ho! I'm taking your Batsu punishment device, and every time you let out one of those goofy laughs, I'm gonna whack you with it.
Dude, I'm gonna be so fucking dead. I'm so dead. Because Bell Daddy can smile, and I'll just be like,
wow! Alto!
Evan
Dude,
Alto!
every fucking time, man. They've got a great, also they have a great pro wrestling anime that they've been doing on Kickstarter for a while. It's called Kick Heart, which is, funny. But I mean, that's going to be screened finally. I've been reading about that for a while. They've got, what else they got? They've got a ghost panel in there on Japanese mythology. Of course, cosplay. Of course, the dealer's room. All the normal things. And
all our normal things we do to make conventions hilarious, or more hilarious than they should be at times.
We got to get our swings ready.
So now I posted this on our Facebook page because I forgot I'd created it over a year ago, but I found it again last night thinking about it. Do you remember what started last year at AWA?
The fucking Nike rape blog.
Exactly.
Yes.
So for those of you who haven't seen it, I want you to just think for a moment of all the Nike t-shirts you've ever seen. Just think of the logos on them. Just do it. Make it, take it. Hot-handed, cold-blooded. And now, with that in mind, think of it as a rapist saying this right before he just raped someone. And you realize that all Nike shirts are made for rapists.
Exactly.
So I put a bunch of them. I have a bunch of them on a blog, and then I posted it on the Facebook page, just saying, "Hey, are there any that you can think of?" And I think
Missy, yeah.
Yeah, she posted some that actually. Oh, now I have to go look because she posted one, and I was like, "That's crazy." And I went and looked it up to see if it was legit. And then by looking it up, I found 4 other ones that were almost the same that were just worse. I was just like, "Shit, Nike, are you even trying anymore?"
Score.
Because she was
more.
like, "Here she goes." Yeah, she said, "There's a girl shirt called I Don't Stop." So I look it up, and there's a guy shirt. The counter is Can't Stop.
Nice.
Then there's another shirt that just says Don't Stop. The people are watching. Who the fuck are you marketing to?
Those who must assert their alpha qualities at all costs. And might I add, at some point last year, I had to tell you that Adidas took a stand against this type of behavior, and they made a shirt that's blatantly against rape and pro-masturbation. It's a shirt that says, "Do you, I'ma do me." And I was like, thank you, Adidas, because now people can take care of themselves instead of forcing others to take care of them.
That's so forward-thinking of them in this day and age.
Oh, my goodness.
It is.
See, I find this funny, but I know, I'm going to see, not that I go to them, but inevitably it finds its way to me with somebody making fun of it or something. I'm going to see somebody commenting on something. I saw this on Feminism today, and they were talking about how all people who wear Nike shirts are rapists. They're going to take that shit seriously. And it's going to be you two's fault.
You know what? I'm totally okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. Because you know what? You know what my counter is going to be? If Nike's like, "No, it's not," I'm going to be like, "You want me to start naming the people who you've sponsored or you've had spokesmen who have been rapists, sexually assaulted, or have murdered people?" That's what I thought.
Man.
Sit the fuck down, shut the fuck up, and get your kids back in the sweatshops in China, all right?
Evan.
As I look to my Nikes that are sitting right next to me.
When you ordered that pizza, were you wearing Nike clothes?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay. Then.
But she sure as fuck must have thought I did. I don't even own Nikes. I wear New Balances and Sauconys.
I used to be big Adidas guy, but I don't know. Nike's recently been the shoes I've always bought, so I don't know.
Now, philosophically, I'm definitely more of an Adidas guy.
Aren't we all, though? Aren't we all?
Not many of us will say it, but I will.
But
yeah, I mean,
that's some of the stuff we're looking forward to at AWA. So, who all's in the crew that's going? Because we got a lot of people. I mean, let's put it like this. Every year, I think that we started going, more and more people kind of pack into the group.
Yeah, right. There's, of course, Maestro Awesome Kick-Ass is going to show up there at some point.
I'm kind of getting tired of that guy.
You might as well get used to it, because he's a fucking pan-galactic champion, and if he wants to, he can kill us by sneezing.
That's true.
We've got Jacob showing up, Jacob F-Man. I can never fucking remember how to pronounce his last name. I think it's Fatik, but I want to say Fatik because it sounds European. But he's showing up. I won't give away his cosplays, but he's got some fucking great ones. If you want to know who he is, just look for the guy who looks like Matt Dillon. That's going to be him. We got John Gifford, video game champion of the world, purveyor of meat goods at your local unnamed conglomerate shopping place. Who else is coming with us? Wesley's going to be there.
Yeah.
Wesley's going to be there.
I wonder what his cosplay's going to be this year. Because last year, look at that Dudley.
Look at that Dudley. Oh, man. Wait, let's tell that quick story real fast.
Go for it.
So,
you're the one who's there when it happened.
Wesley is our friend. He's a very, he looks, let me put it this way. He can pull off Dudley cosplay, no problem. He had himself a mustache, and he had himself a little bit of a twirly wig thing. So, he was perfect. He had the suit, the bartender outfit, everything. He looked great. So, we were walking outside to go find people to take pictures of. And as soon as we walk outside, there are two African-American gentlemen over to the side by the bushes near where people bring their valet cars over. And they're just looking at us. So we're walking, and all of a sudden one of them goes, "Woo! Look at that Dudley!" So of course, we laugh our asses off. And we're like, "Wesley, run, you're about to get raped. He's got a Nike shirt on. Get the fuck out of here right now."
You can't outrun him, man. He's got the shoes, too.
You better hope those boxing gloves are full of lead, buddy.
Make it, take it.
Exactly. And he was just so distraught. Like, at first he was laughing about it, but as the day progressed, he was like, "Man, that really happened, man."
So, as the good friends that we were, we totally ragged him on this, not just during AWA, but like up to a couple of weeks afterwards. I remember like Jacob just posted on his Facebook page, "Look at that Dudley."
He made a meme of him. Yeah. It was great. Let's see, who else? Is that everybody? Shane, well, this will be Shane's.
I was just not going to say anything because you've looked over here like 4 times, and it's just like, who else is going? Looks at me and then says somebody else.
Yeah. Who else is going to show? Oh yeah, no, but Shane's going to be there. You went with me back in 2010, I think.
Yeah,
that was your first one, right?
I've went a couple times.
You have?
I went twice.
You have been twice?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So
but I don't think you've been for more than one day, have you?
No, it's always been one day.
There's going to be a ton of anime for us to watch. That's the great thing, like at Dragon Con, like we talked about, it's easy for most people to get bored that aren't Evan Jones, because I could be fucking happy sitting on a goddamn stair and looking at people, but other people aren't so easily organized because they have higher IQs. My point is, there's a lot more that all of us are into here, so that we'll have a variety of things to do. So no matter what's going on, we'll always be able to find something.
And if push comes to shove, I'll always just go into asshole mode and just have fun. By like looking at people and saying terrible things that I'm thinking, and I normally wouldn't say, but because I'm at a convention where I'll never see these people again, I feel okay saying it.
We'll bring you a napkin.
Yes, fucking napkin. Oh, dude, you need to leave Kyle alone, okay? Humans are people. All right?
Oh, man. The things will never live down.
He's sharpening a knife right now to kill us in our sleep.
Of all the things that he'll never live down, the terrible, terrible things he's even said on here, that's the one he's worried about.
Yeah, right?
I'm not really worried
Humans
about
are
it.
people.
I mean, I've said and done worse things. I've said things I could probably lose my job over. So if that's the one that people remember, that's cool with me. But it's just like, oh, man. It's one of those things that people keep bringing it up, like the Germans in World War II. They're like, yeah, we know we killed a bunch of Jews, but come on, guys. Just get off the backs. But
man.
Is there anybody else that's coming up? Maybe not coming with us, but we know we're going to be up there. Like I know my sister and her friend are coming, and I think her friend's supposed to be cosplaying as Sora from Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
but I don't know.
refresh my memory. I've not played Kingdom Hearts. What is that? The Keyblade person?
Yeah, that's the main character.
Okay.
So, but I don't know if there's anybody else. It seems like there's more people that we know, but maybe it's just because like at AWA it's smaller, so it's easier to actually meet with people. Like at Dragon Con, there were people who I knew were up there, but I just never find them. So it's just like, I don't, see you next year.
Yeah, and we kind of just end up making friends while we walk around too. Were you there with the year that Billy Mays was there?
At AWA?
Yes.
No.
There's this dude, he was like the most perfect cosplay of Billy Mays, and he was a fucking witty genius. And he had the voice down, and he just like walked by people, and he'd be like, "Cardboard cosplay! $3.99! He was just so awesome, and he was like our best friend for 6 hours straight, and then we never saw him again.
Well, and that was like the Pee Wee Herman guy from last year.
Oh man, he was so fucking great. He's actually he's friends with Maestro on Facebook. His name's Manny. I don't think he's got like a big, huge mountain man beard now, which is cool. It's home team for me. But I'll have to ask him if he's going to be there.
Yeah, because I remember last year, like, every time we'd see him, he would do the pee-wee laugh. He'd just, like, walk away.
And he would always pass out high fives and shit.
Yeah, he was so awesome.
I got to add him on my friends list.
Yeah, he was pretty badass. And I just like that because, like, he really... Some people... So, at Dragon Con, people really get into it, but, like, you don't have a chance to stop and talk to people for the most part. At least I don't feel you do because it's so many fucking people. Like, if you stop, the 500 people behind you are pissed because now they can't move. But like at AWA, everybody kind of goes down into that little central area, and you can just hang out and look at costumes and talk to people and just people watch. So,
now there's something I have to point out. I got to get on a quick rant here, and it's going to make me sound like a jerk. But I pay a lot of attention to the cosplay scene, and I have noticed recently that cosplayers have begun to take themselves way too fucking seriously.
I've heard this. There's a whole TV show about them now.
Now, mind you, I am a huge cosplay fan. I believe that they put a lot of time and effort into the shit. But that is no reason for you to walk around with your nose in the air acting like you have a stick up your ass. Because, let's face it, you're dressing up as a fictional character. Most people are going to think that you're a dickhole.
Well, let me say this really quick. If you're doing it because you're a fan and you want to do it, and then you're a dickhole about it, that's stupid. Now, if you're some model who's getting paid by some company to do this, well, whatever. I mean, I'm not saying it's okay for you to be a dickhole, but you might not necessarily, like, even know who the hell you're dressed as. Because there are people who do that, too. It's just like, some company's like, hey, you're hot. We could probably dress you up like Felicia from Darkstalkers and pay you money if you come to this thing. And they're like, sure, I got tits, I'll do it.
Honestly, I've not seen very many of those at AWA. There might be some at booths, but I'm just talking about people who walk around.
Yeah,
you know, because like you could ask for a picture and be like, no. And it's like, oh, you don't want people to take a picture of you because you've spent all this time investing things so people would recognize who the fuck you are.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why do you even get into it if you don't want to sign up for all the things that come along with it? It's like, if you want to be a movie star, don't complain that you can't go to fucking Burger King because, hey, you're also getting $800,000 a year or whatever celebrities make.
I don't know. I would complain about that. I was like, okay, I'm a movie star, but I kind of like to eat at Burger King without 1,000 people around me.
That's why, since you're rich, you pay your buddy to go pick it up for you. It's par for the course, my friend.
That's why you just buy Burger King.
Yeah, exactly. Get a Burger
awesome.
King in your fucking house.
Bruce Wayne that shit.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness.
But the thing is, a lot of people have become like stuck-up snobs over this shit, and it's like, oh well, I don't want people taking pictures of me, and I don't want people you looking at me in a leering fashion. Well, you're wearing fucking a G-string and nipple covers. Of course, people are leering at you, you fucking idiot.
I'll say I don't remember. I mean, I've never had anybody who was like, I don't want pictures taken of me. Now, I do know there were the people where it was like, hey, would you mind doing an interview with us for our podcast? And they were kind of like, no, but I could understand that. Some people are just really shy.
Yeah, because then you have to act. That's totally understandable. You know, I'm just talking about people who just think that because they do this, it makes them better than somebody else. It's like me as a drummer, if I can draw a parallel here. I don't think I'm all that good of a drummer.
You're
Other
right.
people, exactly. In retro, like if you compare me to other drummers, I am not all that good. But people always come and say, "Evan, you're fucking great." But I realize that I'm not. I'm just a dude who plays drums.
I mean, truthfully, you're a fucking piece of shit.
Good way to work. I was wondering when you're going to work that in because I said humans are people. But the thing is, like, I just do it because I enjoy it. If people enjoy it, that's great. If they don't enjoy it, so what? You know, it's all about why do you do this? Because you want people to enjoy it. You know, it's not about you being awesome. It's about people enjoying what you're doing.
So let's do this then, Evan.
Okay.
Let's take a stand.
Okay.
All right. So at AWA, if we go to ask somebody, now if they decline wanting to do a recorded interview, that's cool. I understand that. Some people can't handle that. But if they say, no, I don't want you to take my picture, unless they give a reason, like I have had people before where it was just like, oh no, I'm rushing to get somewhere. That's cool too. I understand that. But if they're just like, no, we then turn and look to everybody sitting around like, this person's too good to get their picture taken, even though they're dressed as cosplay. Everybody look at them right now and make a big scene. Okay?
And you guys are exactly the reason they don't want to deal with people. You know what? If I might not want people to take pictures of me either, but I wouldn't be being an asshole or think I'm stuck up. I just wouldn't want people to take pictures of me.
Well,
now, if someone just took a picture of me, I wouldn't be like, "Don't take pictures of me."
That's what we're talking about.
Oh,
that's
okay.
exactly what we're talking about.
Well, that's completely different then.
Drug dealers probably don't want police officers arresting them, but too fucking bad. You're breaking the law. You got to deal with it.
You're breaking the fucking AWA law.
That's right.
We're coming down hard on
Judge Dredd Jones says, take that stick out of your ass.
It's one of those things. It's like you're going to cosplay because one, you like doing it, too. You want people to see you doing it. If you didn't care, then you probably wouldn't be dressed up anyways. Mm-hmm. So if people are going to be like, hey, can I get a picture with you? To me, like when people were asking me if they could get pictures with me when I was dressed up as Heisenberg from Breaking Bad, dude, that was awesome because I was like, man, I must look a lot like that character. People must really be impressed with my costume. That made me happy. If no one had asked me to get a picture taken with me, then I might be a little like, man, I look like shit. No one knew who the fuck I was.
Dude, I cosplayed as Dan Hibiki for 3 years in a row. I went out of my way to fucking dye and cut the fucking everything. My girlfriend at the time helped me a lot with it. I printed out like multiple hundreds of pictures of Dan Hibiki, which I had 2 Sharpies for that I would sign and throw at the people who asked for a picture because I wanted them to have a fucking great time. And it went over like gangbusters, like fucking hotcakes. And the thing is, that's why you cosplay, because you see people there who are there for the same reason that you are. They want to have a good time. They want to see that. So when you give that to them, you're making them happy. So I got asked for questions like, even me, it's like, I just want to go get some iced coffee. I would get asked for 7, 8 pictures in a row. But you know what? I never got pissed off because I knew that I was making somebody happy.
That's right. So all you people that dress up because you like the character, fuck you assholes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Fuck you.
Fuck you for doing what you want to do. Do what everybody else wants. That's what we're here to say.
Goddamn it, if they want to fucking do that, they can do that at home and look in the goddamn mirror. Not in a place where people ask you for pictures.
Be a sheep. Do what everybody else wants. Not
goddamn right.
Exactly.
What do you think, this is fucking China or something? You don't have any individuality. We're in America, goddammit.
If you want to look cool, you fucking stay home and look cool if you got problems with people taking pictures of you.
Yeah, for real. That's what I do. I want to look cool. I get butt naked. I stare at myself in the mirror as I beat off like power beat off.
And that brings us to the end of our podcast. Did you just say power beat off?
Yeah.
Is that like an exercise cardio thing that you've invented?
It's
power beat.
It's what those arm wrestlers do to build their arm muscles.
Oh,
like power beat off.
Power beat off. That sounds like a fucking 80s dance off, like fucking Electric Boogaloo. We got the beat off. We're gonna see who lays the thickest beats. People fucking throwing down the cardboard. Power.
So I'm gonna end the podcast with something I learned this weekend that once it was told to me, it made so much sense, but I never really thought about it. That most professional bodybuilders can't wipe their own ass.
Wow, that's unbelievable.
Now, and this is not a question for you two to answer. This is a question for our listeners to ponder. And just if you have something that you would like to say about this or a comment you would like to make about it, you can email us at offenderspodcast@gmail.com, offenderspodcast@gmail.com. But what that is at what point in your life do you make a decision that you're no longer going to be able to wipe your ass because of the lifestyle that you're taking? Ponder that for a moment.
I'd just like to bring up that last week you talked about shit, and this week you talked about shit again.
Hey, Evan, I might be part German, okay?
Hey, dude, it's been a long time. Just let it go, okay?
Oh, man. I'm glad Shane's sharing a room with me at AWA this year.
Enjoy the power beat off. I hope they have a room separator, like one of those fucking connector doors.
All right, guys. Well, until next time, I'm Kyle.
I'm Straight Edge.
You stole my shit. You totally stole my shit, man. I was gonna make a cool little comment. Fine, I'm Shane.
All right, this is The Offenders. Y'all have a good one.